Hi, I'm Dr. Ebony Utley. I'm the Associate Director of the Institute for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, the Faculty Innovation Fellow for Not Alone at the Beach, and the founder of Behind the Screens. So, I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the relationship between storytelling and pitching. Oftentimes, we think they're separate things. Storytelling belongs in one category and pitching belongs in one category. But I invite you today to consider bringing them together and exploring the relationship between storytelling and pitching. So when we think about pitching, we often think about selling, right? It's my job here to sell my idea, to sell my product to these investors, to these customers, so that we can go out and make money. I mean, sure. But storytelling helps us create a universe, an environment where we invite potential investors and potential customers into our world so that they understand us better. Storytelling helps us organize our experiences, it helps us interpret reality, and it aids in decision making. So, through storytelling, you can have the same results that you did in a pitch while building a communal experience between yourself and the people who are listening to your pitch. And truth told, when you're an early stage entrepreneur, you don't have the metrics. I don't care how long you've worked on your financial projections. If you haven't made the money yet, you don't know that you're actually going to make the money. So, what do you need to communicate? You need to communicate who you are as a founder. You need to communicate who your team is and why you trust each other and you're able to build together. And you also need to share your vision, right? Early pitches are all about vision sharing, and stories are excellent for that. So, how do you tell a great story? Well, all great stories have three parts. And we know this because as little kids, every story had a beginning, middle, and an end, right? If you ask a toddler to tell a story, they'll start with once upon a time, and they'll mumble some confusing stuff in the middle, and they'll end with a triumphant the end. We're going to take that formula and we're going to level it up a little bit for your entrepreneurial experience. So, the first part of a story is the normal. And that's where things are going the way they normally do. That's where you connect with your audience in terms of authentic emotions. Now, maybe those emotions are boredom or frustration or happiness or sadness, but whatever the emotion is, this is the part where you start to convey it. So other people are thinking, oh, yeah, I've experienced that kind of normal too. The second part is the explosion. I know that sounds dramatic, and it doesn't have to be dramatic. It's just the moment when something changes. Things are good, different, bad, different, indifferent, different, 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 but they're not like they were when you had your normal. On the other side of the explosion is the new normal. Things are better, happier, greater. I don't know, just like better than they were before when you had the normal because of what happened in the explosion. So maybe your tripartite story is about you as the founder. Maybe you're talking about your normal before you had this genius idea. Having the genius idea, or when you decided to pivot, or when you found your first team member, or when you overcame your first challenge, that's the stuff that goes in the explosion. And then the new normal is who you are now. Maybe you are wiser. Maybe you're more nimble. Maybe you're more flexible as an entrepreneur because of what you've been through. If the explosion is about when you found your team members, maybe you're stronger as a team. Or maybe the explosion is when you had conflict with your team members and you worked it out and you're a much stronger team now in your new normal. Maybe your story is about the customer who's going to use your product or your service or your experience. And maybe they were frustrated before. And then they got your offering. And the new normal is that they're not frustrated anymore. They're happy, they're productive, they're smarter, they're wiser, they're more attractive, whatever it is that you are selling. So you can put these stories in the beginning, in your intro. You can put these stories in the end, potentially, when you are talking about your customers. And you can also think about your entire pitch being a story that has a normal in your first handful of slides, an explosion where you really get into your product and your customer discovery and your product market fit, and then a new normal, what's going to happen when more people get access to whatever it is that you're building. So instead of thinking of the storytelling and the pitch as separate entities, how about we think about interweaving our storytelling in our pitch to create a more communal experience and to help your audience aid in decision making that's going to benefit you and your team and the opportunity that you're providing.